What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. We're going to be going over the Day 5 Psychube Selector reward that you get. We'll talk about the ones that you should be looking for to help push your accounts forward. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about Day 5. You can check the rewards out here with this little box. On the 5th day, we get a Psychube Selector. This is going to be where 7 6-star Psychubes will be at your own choosing. And if you guys remember the advice that I've been talking about, that I've said before, you really want to go for one that is going to help benefit your team. So there are a couple different ways that you can think about this, right? So you're getting a 6-star Psychube for free, right? And if you've been doing your Psychube stages, you should be somewhat close to being able to buy like a 5-star one, right? You should be close to buying a 5-star one. I'm not gonna say it's 6-star because maybe some of you didn't get into the game as soon, but you should be at least close to buying a 5-star because that's gonna be another option, right? So on this 5th day, right, we'll be able to get a 5-star of our choosing, and then a 6-star. As I'm just assuming what the 5th day is going to be for some of you guys, right? So with that, you want to choose a 6-star selector for your DPS, and then probably go with a 5-star selector for either like one of your supports, or you can use it for your secondary DPS that you switch to most often. Or if you guys are in limbo and surface, then you would go for a Psychube, a 5-star Psychube for that character, right? Because you're still farming for the 6-star, and then you can always take that 5-star Psychube that you got and put it on another character, right? That is just an option for you. But the one that you pick is going to be, again, based off of the DPS that you honestly go for and how the stages work, right? If you have a character that is more single target focused, right? Or can focus on single target, then Thunderous Applause is going to be for you. Now you're like, okay, Lucky, what are you talking about? So characters like Lilia would love this because she, 1, loves crit rate, and she, 2, whenever she will use like her ult, for instance, or her skill that's single target, those we get extra critical damage with them. But she has 2 out of her 3 abilities are single target, so she would appreciate Thunderous Applause a lot more. Another character you can think about with this is possibly Charlie. If you want Charlie's skills to pop off a little bit more and try to build crit into her, you could do this as well. Somebody like Centurion, you can use it for Centurion because Centurion has really good single target damage on her skill, and just, you know, just not really use the bonus damage for her ult, but you'll still get crit rate for her ult, right? Like, I'm not saying you can't use it because Centurion has 2 out of her 3 abilities AoE. Like, she can still use Thunderous Applause. It's just Centurion is special because, right, her skill like has crazy modifiers for having max Moxie, so you could always just focus on this skill, get the extra crit rate, crit damage, and go from there. So like characters like that, characters that can really do a lot of single target damage, right, are going to be great for Thunderous Applause. Now, when you have a character that wants to ult a lot and do like reality damage mostly with their ult, you know, or they don't necessarily have a bunch of AoE damage, you have like Hopscotch. That is going to be really good for a character like that. For when they're defeating most of the targets, they get ult might for that carrier. So a character like A Knight would really appreciate Hopscotch because he gets extra damage on his incantation, and then when he ults, he now has that bonus damage because A Knight should be finishing off targets, and then you'll be able to have that just pretty much stronger ultimate. Characters who can just take out multiple enemies or you're using to finish off should really be going for Hopscotch, right? Now, if you're doing a huge like debuff team, like the targets are always debuffed. Like if you have like a Sotheby on your team, if you're using Bjorn Bloom, a lot, like anyone who has like a lot of negative statuses or anything on it. If you're a Druvis player, then that's what Blasphemer of Night is going to be. It's going to boost the incantations, and then you'll just get straight damage dealt with the enemies with negative status, which is really easy to apply statuses to enemies, and then you'll just get extremely high damage out of your damage dealt, which this is a good option as well. Again, if you're debuffing heavily, constantly keeping them up, but you got to make sure that you have 2 negative statuses on the target at all times in order to get this, which is why it's not my probably most favorite option, because you gotta, like, you know, people just gotta make sure they refresh the debuffs and stuff on targets, right? And then a Brave New World, right? This is a really popular one. It gives ult might 12%, and then after the carrier casts an ultimate, incantation might of the next incantation is plus 20%. So this is for characters that are going to be ulting a lot. You're building Moxie really quickly. Let's say that you have a team built specifically for Moxie, and they have a very strong ult that does damage. Go ahead and use this for them, and then the incantation that goes next will get bonus damage. So there are a lot of characters that could possibly use this because they just like gain Moxie like crazy, or you want them to gain Moxie like crazy, like you have Centurion. You want her to spam her ult. If you're doing an ult based Centurion, then she can use Brave New World. Eternity, you want her to use her ult a lot because that's how she gets her healing, right? You have again a Knight. If you have a Knight being able to gain his ult a lot, he can use this as well, right? So I just really wanted to go over a lot of the good ones. Now, I didn't mention a couple of them because I just don't believe them to be the option to go for over the others, right? Especially when you could get like a 5-star Psychube to kind of help out, and then now you have the 6-star. But please do check out my Psychube guide. It's on the channel because it goes over all of them in detail. I just really didn't want to, like, you know, kind of go over it like that because I already did it and the video is on YouTube. And I have it chaptered for the 6-star Psychube specifically, and I go over them in detail. But guys, hopefully on tomorrow for day 5 or whenever you're watching this, hopefully you already have this Psychube Selector. You guys make the right choice. It helps boost your account. Let me know which Psychube you're going for, and how, and also let me know how good it is when you put it on your characters after you get it. I'm really excited to see you guys use 6-star Psychubes because none of you, if you haven't played CN, have really seen the power of them, and they just really help with the base stats. Especially if you're like a Lilia player and you're looking for that extra crit. Thunderous Applause is amazing. Even Centurion using it, like Thunderous Applause is really good. Hopscotch, I really like a lot of the DPS ones I went over are really great, and you'll be able to see that extra damage. But anyways, guys, I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lux out.